In the unforgiving grip of January, the depths of winter envelop our tale, where every breath is a struggle against the icy chill. The world lay enveloped in a heavy wintry silence, yet my mind raced with tumultuous thoughts. My son Noah, a gifted artist who had just reached the threshold of 19, was deeply immersed in a realm of paintings and sketches that captured the essence of human figures, pulsating with striking movement and raw emotion. His retreat was not just a studio. It was a sacred space, a realm of our house that he had fiercely claimed as his own. His passion and dedication surged through the chaotic sanctuary of canvases, jars brimming with brushes and wild streaks of paint. That morning, enveloped in a heavy robe that struggled against the relentless chill seeping into our kitchen, I sat with a steaming cup of coffee, the warmth barely penetrating the cold that surrounded me. The night before, Noah had lingered in the depths of slumber, and I found myself paralyzed by the fear of disturbing him. Lost in a whirlwind of thoughts, I gazed out at the frost-covered window, when suddenly the haunting creak of the stairs pierced the silence. I had grown used to the familiar greeting. "Good morning, Mother." Noah offered a measured greeting, his voice resonating with a calm intensity that hinted at deeper undercurrents. With a cup of tea cradled in one arm, he clutched a canvas tightly in the other, the weight of the moment hanging in the air. His eyes sparkled with a flicker of inspiration, yet his hair lay in chaotic disarray, and traces of sleep lingered on his face. As he cautiously leaned the canvas against the counter, I whispered, "Good morning, sweetheart." His enthusiasm, vibrant and unwavering even amidst the bleakness of winter, ignited a smile upon my lips. "Did you manage to find any rest last night?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper, laden with anticipation. A hesitant smile flickered at the edges of his lips as he offered a reluctant shrug, the air thick with unspoken tension. I was, in fact, deeply engrossed in something significant. "Are you ready to witness this?" I nodded, a surge of curiosity igniting within me. He turned the canvas toward me and unveiled a painting that took my breath away, its rawness and vibrancy striking deep within me. A figure bathed in soft light, embodying a delicate balance of strength and vulnerability, became the focal point of the study. The piece resonated with a profound depth and an intimate quality that was astonishing, far surpassing his years. "It's incredible, Noah," I breathed with fervor. "Your gift is unlike any other." He averted his gaze, a deep crimson creeping across his cheeks, clearly overwhelmed by the unexpected praise. "With all my love, Mom," he acknowledged, his voice heavy with gratitude. "Without your help, I couldn't have succeeded." In the stillness between us, an unspoken bond pulsed with intensity, heavy with meaning yet lingering in the shadows of our silence. Though my husband possessed a kind heart, he often vanished from our lives, consumed by the demands of work and the allure of his passions. His absence hung heavily in the air, a silent specter that refused to fade, yet I had slowly begun to confront the ache it left behind. Later that day, an insatiable curiosity pulled me toward Noah's studio, compelling me to step inside and uncover what lay within. Noah's brush glided across the canvas, each stroke charged with an intensity that seemed to pulse in the air around him. His concentration crackled in the air, a palpable force that drew everyone in, thick with anticipation. His smile was subtle yet charged, a flicker of recognition that sent a ripple of anticipation through the air as our eyes met. I was ensnared tenderly. He teased, a spark of intrigue flickering in his eyes, eager to uncover the secrets of my current endeavor. Compelled by an unseen force, I stepped into the room. The air was thick with the sharp scent of paint and turpentine, while his work area flickered in a haunting golden glow, the winter sunlight streaming through the window, casting long shadows that whispered secrets of creation and despair. He stepped aside, revealing his masterpiece, a study of hands, each intricate posture pulsating with raw emotion and profound expression. As I marveled at the detail, I breathed out, "They're beautiful." He turned to face me, his gaze unyielding as he spoke. I find myself captivated by the idea of crafting a series that delves into the depths of the human form, unraveling the intricate tapestry of emotions that lie within. That sounds absolutely thrilling. I was genuinely taken aback. Your perception cuts through the ordinary, revealing truths that remain hidden to most. In that fleeting instant, an unspoken connection surged between us, his expression shifting with a newfound vulnerability. I had felt it before, an unspoken bond that transcended the ordinary parent-child relationship. It stirred memories of our deep reliance on each other, especially in the absence of his father. The winter days slipped by, each moment punctuated by our fragile warmth against the biting cold, while Noah's portfolio loomed larger, a testament to ambition and unspoken tension. Yet, as we drew nearer, a tumult of thoughts surged within me, reflecting on the delicate boundaries we established in our relationships and the haunting moments where admiration and love intertwined in a silent dance. There was no escaping the truth. Noah was so much more than just my son. He was an extraordinary young man, a beacon in the shadows of my existence, illuminating the emptiness that surrounded me. That night was enveloped in an eerie stillness, a January night where the darkness and falling snow hushed the world into a tense silence. My husband had ventured out for another night of bowling with friends, a routine that often cast Noah and me into the solitude of a home that seemed to breathe easier in his absence. On that fateful day, Noah's focus was unwavering, his brief yet thoughtful glances laden with unspoken significance as we navigated the currents of our ordinary lives. "You know exactly who you are, Mom." I stood in the kitchen, the aroma of dinner swirling around me, when his words cut through the air, echoing with an unsettling weight. I turned to face him, a curious smile playing on my lips, anticipation crackling in the air between us. His lips curled into that trademark Noah grin, a casual facade that belied the tension simmering just beneath the surface as he leaned against the doorway. "Your ability to transform any space into a sanctuary is nothing short of remarkable." He mentioned that it's a rarity, and I chuckled softly, brushing aside his renoas as nothing more than a son's playful jest. Yet they ignited a fire within me. The words alone couldn't capture the depth of my understanding, amplified by the soft, sincere tone that wrapped around me like a warm embrace. Later that night, as the flames flickered and shadows danced around the room, Noah emerged from his studio, a mysterious box in hand, while I sat by the fire, lost in the pages of a magazine. His grin held an innocent charm, while his dark eyes sparkled with an electrifying thrill. He placed the box on the coffee table, his eyes locked onto mine, and said, "Mom, I have an idea. What is happening here?" With a surge of curiosity, I inquired. With his hands buried deep in his pockets, he took a step back, his gaze intense as he urged her to open it. As I lifted the lid, my breath caught in my throat. A breathtaking red satin robe lay within, shimmering in the soft light like a flame poised to ignite the very air around it. A sharp breath escaped my lips. "What is this for, Noah?" His serious expression belied the casual shrug that followed. "I find myself on the brink of embarking on a new series of portraits, ones that pulse with intimacy rather than distance or detachment. I long to express warmth, elegance, and the essence of you. Allow me the honor of capturing your essence on canvas." My heart pounded wildly at the thought of becoming his subject. As I stared at the robe, a thrilling unease coursed through me, igniting a whirlwind of anticipation and dread. "Do you want me to wear this?" His tone was heavy with sincerity as he nodded, the weight of his words hanging in the air. "In that dress, you would be nothing short of breathtaking, but only for the portrait." For a fleeting moment, doubt gripped me, but I ultimately nodded in agreement. His request held a magnetic pull, drawing her in with an intensity that felt utterly unavoidable. The satin clung to my body, its cool touch sending shivers down my spine, igniting a whirlwind of sensations within me. It was undeniably beautiful, stirring something deep within. In that moment, as I locked eyes with my reflection, an overwhelming wave of confidence crashed over me, igniting a fire within that I never knew existed. When I returned, the living room had transformed under Noah's hands. At the heart of the room, illuminated by the haunting flicker of the fire, stood a chair draped in a soft, inviting wool blanket, beckoning with an air of mystery. His easel loomed beside a stark, empty canvas, poised in anticipation of the vision that burned within him, yearning to break free. "You look stunning," he breathed, his voice thick with emotion. In a hushed, reverent tone, after a tense moment of silence, he shook his head, his finger trembling as it pointed to the chair. "Find your place and let the weight of the world slip away." The blanket's texture enveloped me, a soothing contrast to the storm of emotions swirling within as I sank into the chair. Noah's gaze flickered between me and the canvas, his brush poised in the air for a heartbeat before he unleashed a flurry of strokes, each one a testament to his unwavering skill and determination. In a moment thick with anticipation, he playfully commanded, "Hold still." You find it all too easy, don't you? Your grace is undeniable. A captivating presence that draws attention and stirs emotions. I shook my head, a quiet chuckle escaping my lips, laced with an undercurrent of uncertainty. Noah, you push me to my limits. He locked his gaze with mine, his voice firm and unwavering. No, really, Mom, you are absolutely breathtaking. I can only pray that this painting captures your essence as it truly deserves. His Noah stirred a tumultuous blend of pride and vulnerability within me, emotions I was not yet prepared to confront directly. I remained silent, letting the rhythmic strokes of his brush and the sharp crackle of the fire echo in the heavy stillness that hung between us. The atmosphere shifted dramatically as the evening unfolded. An unspoken yet profound intimacy began to flourish, enveloping them in a silence thick with meaning. I found myself captivated by Noah's warmth, as his teasing took on a gentler edge and his compliments grew increasingly personal. Do you recall the days of my youth when I would pour my heart into drawing you with crayons? He halted mid-sentence, the abruptness of his question hanging in the air like a storm cloud ready to unleash its fury. Despite their terrible nature, you clung to them with an unwavering grip. The memory stirred a bittersweet smile within me. They were far from terrible. He laughed, his eyes shimmering with a tender warmth. They held an irreplaceable value, for they were born from you. Not merely for artwork, but for every facet of my existence. You have eternally been my most cherished subject. His words hung in the air, thick with unspoken meaning, and I felt the heat rise in my cheeks. His voice resonated with a profound intensity, stirring within me a feeling of recognition and worth that had long been buried in the shadows of time. As he finished, he stepped back, his gaze piercing into the canvas, scrutinizing every detail with a heavy heart. Accomplished, he proclaimed, his voice brimming with pride. I approached the painting that loomed on the other side of the room, its presence heavy with unspoken stories. It was nothing short of breathtaking, a striking image of me, the satin robe cascading elegantly over my shoulders, enveloped in the flickering warmth of the fire's glow. My admiration extended far beyond mere technical skill. He had seized something profound, an essence within me that I had never realized existed. I spoke, my voice trembling with raw emotion. It's breathtaking. Thank you so much. Noah pivoted to confront me, his expression heavy with gravity. Your efforts mean more to me than words can express. As I lay in bed that night, the haunting image of the painting and Noah's piercing gaze consumed my thoughts. Though our bond had always been strong, an undeniable shift was taking place, deepening and complicating the connection between us. It was both unsettling and profoundly comforting, a paradox that lingered in the air. As I stirred from sleep, the golden glow of the soft morning light crept through the curtains, casting an ethereal warmth that hinted at the day's unfolding mysteries. The intoxicating aroma of freshly brewed coffee enveloped me, stirring a whirlwind of emotions before I could even gather my thoughts. As I slowly opened my eyes, I found Noah looming by my bedside, a mischievous grin playing on his lips, hinting at secrets untold. He clutched a steaming mug in one hand, while the other trembled slightly, holding a solitary daisy, its fragile petals whispering secrets of vulnerability. A tender yet poignant morning reflection. His tone dripped with a playful affection, each word laced with an undercurrent of tension that hung in the air. Today you truly deserved an extra touch of indulgence. Despite the lingering haze of sleep clouding my mind, a smile crept onto my lips, stirred by the depth of his thoughtfulness. I sat up, my voice barely a breath. You're spoiling me. As he placed the coffee on the nightstand, a heavy silence filled the room. That's the idea, he murmured, his voice low and charged, as he extended the delicate flower toward me, perched on the edge of the bed, the air thick with unspoken tension. As he scrutinized me, his expression softened, and his gaze lingered, sending my heart racing in a tumultuous dance of emotions. Mom, your influence has ignited a fire within me. In all my years, I have never experienced such an intense connection. His honesty shattered my usual composure, rendering me utterly speechless as he addressed my work or engaged with someone else. He grasped my hand, pressing his lips against it with a softness that stole my breath away, leaving me momentarily speechless. There's more to come, he declared, his voice laced with an unsettling lightness that hung in the air, thick with anticipation. I have a surprise waiting for you tonight, but you must ensure the studio door remains closed. If Dad notices, it would be a moment fraught with uncertainty, as his words would fail to capture the turmoil within me, sending my heart racing with a mix of anxiety and exhilaration that churns in my chest. What kind of unexpected twist awaits? My voice trembled, barely above a whisper as I posed the question. Noah rose to his feet, laughter erupting from him like a sudden storm. Just wait and watch. I need to gather a few things first, but trust me, you'll absolutely love it. He then left, taking with him the warmth of the coffee, the delicate daisy, and a whirlwind of emotions that crashed over me, leaving me unprepared for the storm within. I found myself trapped in a loop of his words, his gestures, and the intensity of his gaze that lingered on me all day long. I found myself engulfed in a whirlwind of conflict, a dizzying rush that felt all too familiar, reminiscent of the intoxicating thrill of youthful infatuation. Noah was far from ordinary. He was my son, and now the weight of that truth hangs heavy in the air, a haunting reminder of what once was. In that moment, I was reminded of my essence as a woman, ignited by the way he looked at me and the way he treated me, transcending the roles of wife and mother. With each passing moment, my anticipation surged, electrifying the air around me. I prepared dinner, poured 2 glasses of wine, and fought against the swirling thoughts of what the night might hold, desperately seeking distraction. By the time I reached Noah's studio, my heart was pounding in my chest. I forced the door open, and it let out a haunting creak. And there he stood, surrounded by the chaotic embrace of paint and canvases, each stroke whispering secrets of passion and turmoil. He seemed transformed, radiating an unsettling confidence and an air of self-assurance that was almost palpable. A tiny red box, its vivid hue shimmering under the harsh light, rested precariously in his hands. Your arrival has been long awaited. His voice dripped with allure, a low murmur that beckoned with an intensity that stirred the air around him. Step inside. He motioned toward a chair positioned ominously in the center of the room, and I stepped inside, the sound of the door clicking shut echoing in the tense silence. Amidst the faint, haunting melody that lingered in the air, the acrid scent of paint clung to the surroundings, creating an atmosphere thick with anticipation. As he extended the box towards me, a surge of curiosity ignited within me. His eyes sparkled with a fervent intensity as he implored them to unveil it. With trembling hands, I lifted the lid, revealing a sleek leather outfit that seemed to pulse with allure, black lingerie that whispered secrets, a pair of cat ears that beckoned mischief, and a tiny tail that hinted at untold adventures. With uncertainty gripping my heart, I lifted my gaze to meet his eyes. Heat surged to my cheeks. With a weighty sincerity, he declared, "You're my muse. I aim to depict you as bold, unyielding, and unapologetic, fully aware of the gravity of the circumstances." I paused, caught in the grip of his unwavering confidence and deep admiration, unable to utter a refusal. I grasped the box tightly, my head nodding slowly as a wave of uncertainty washed over me. With deliberate steps, I retreated behind the screen he had set up in the corner, the air thick with unspoken tension. The leather clung to my skin as I peeled it away, a sensation that ignited both vulnerability and an undeniable strength within me. As I finally stepped into the light, Noah's reaction was immediate, charged with an intensity that hung in the air. His eyes widened, a flicker of surprise igniting within him, before a slow, deliberate smile crept across his face, hinting at something deeper beneath the surface. "You're perfect," he whispered. His eyes locked onto mine as he gestured for me to sit once more. Flawless, flawless, flawless. With a precision that spoke of mastery, he deftly orchestrated his easel, the haunting melodies, and the shadows that danced around him. Then he began to sketch, each stroke filled with intent and unwavering focus. In the stillness of the room, only the delicate scratch of charcoal against paper broke the heavy silence, punctuated by Noah's occasional murmurs of approval, each one hanging in the air like a fragile thread. I watched him, his hands moving with a steady confidence, while his brow knitted in deep concentration. He scrutinized every curve and shadow of me, as if I were the most captivating enigma he had ever encountered. His gaze pierced through me, laden with an intensity that felt profoundly intimate. The lines that once defined us began to blur, growing fainter with each passing hour, enveloping us in a thickening fog of uncertainty. Noah's compliments grew bolder, while his teasing took on a softer, more affectionate tone. Despite the awareness that we were crossing a line, I found myself powerless to halt his actions or the tumultuous feelings surging within me. The bond between us surged with undeniable intensity as he finally set his tools aside. He stepped closer, his gaze locking onto mine, and his voice emerged as a barely audible whisper, thick with unspoken tension. Your trust in me, allowing me to witness your true self, fills me with profound gratitude. He claimed I was engulfed in emotion, yet I found myself utterly speechless. Instead, I reached out, my fingers wrapping around his hand with a grip that conveyed urgency and unspoken connection. Though we couldn't grasp its entirety, the moment enveloped us with a fragile intensity that demanded our attention. As I lay in bed that night, I was consumed by the haunting echoes of every word, every glance, every detail, replaying in my mind like a relentless storm. Something had shifted between us, intensifying in ways that eluded my understanding. Despite the uncertainty that loomed ahead, an undeniable feeling gripped me, whispering that I was stepping into a realm both extraordinary and shrouded in mystery. The soft buzz of my phone on the nightstand sliced through the silence, pulling me from the depths of my thoughts. As my hand extended toward the screen, a message from Noah caught my eye, sending a jolt of anticipation through me. Come to me. Sleep eludes me, a distant dream slipping through my fingers. As I absorbed the words, their profound significance weighed heavily within their simplicity. My breath hitched in my throat. As I weighed my choices, a surge of adrenaline coursed through me. But before I could regain control, I found myself being dragged by my feet, helplessly pulled toward his studio down the dimly lit hallway. Aside from the haunting creak of the wooden floors beneath my feet, an unsettling silence enveloped the house. Noah perched on the edge of the couch, his hands tightly clasped in his lap, a palpable tension radiating from him as I opened the door. As I stepped inside, he lifted his gaze, his eyes probing mine, a blend of vulnerability and hope flickering between us. Mom. His voice barely broke the silence as he began. Do you also feel it? I need to know, how can I? For a fleeting moment, the air was thick, and I found myself gasping as his words hung heavily around us. The truth hung heavy in the air between us, a palpable weight I could no longer ignore. I couldn't deceive him, not when his piercing gaze seemed to unravel the very fabric of my carefully constructed facade, even as I desperately sought to shield myself from the reality I feared to confront. Not with such raw, unfiltered truth in his gaze. Yes, I whispered, my voice trembling with uncertainty. Absolutely, I do. His face ignited with relief as he rose, taking hesitant steps toward me, each movement charged with anticipation. His voice trembled with raw emotion as he whispered, You were always more than just my mom. To me, you were my entire world. As his arms enveloped me, drawing me into a tight embrace, it felt as if the entire world had dissolved around us, leaving just the two of us in an intimate cocoon of silence and connection. I shut my eyes, overwhelmed by the sheer force of the moment. He hesitated, pulling back slightly, his hands gripping my shoulders with an intensity that sent a shiver down my spine. An idea has struck me, he said, his tone shifting, a hint of mischief creeping in. While Dad drifts into slumber, let's seize this moment to create something extraordinary just for us. What are you trying to convey? My curiosity ignited a burning need to inquire. With a glint of mischief flickering in his eyes, he replied, Paint therapy. It revolves around the powerful interplay of color and touch, each stroke and hue laden with deep emotion. This is a desire that has burned within me for what feels like an eternity, and I can't imagine sharing this moment with anyone but you. His suggestion caught me off guard, yet the sincerity in his voice compelled me to accept it, despite my reservations. Very well, I replied, my lips quiver, forming a smile laced with anxiety. Noah's face lit up with a spark of anticipation, and he immediately dove into gathering supplies, a sense of urgency driving his every move. A massive roll of canvas, surrounded by vibrant bottles of paint and strewn with floor-covering towels, creates an atmosphere thick with anticipation. With a fervent intensity, he recounted the procedure, each movement charged with purpose as he labored on. He placed the canvas at the center of the room, his voice steady yet charged with intensity. You just let go. Pure emotion, unrestrained, defying all boundaries. He unleashed the paint onto the canvas, a tempest of vivid red, blue, and gold streaks colliding and intertwining in a chaotic dance, each movement charged with raw emotion. In that moment, he pivoted sharply, extending his hand toward me, a silent invitation laden with unspoken words. Should we dare to take that step? With a heartbeat echoing in my ears, I finally reached out, my hand trembling as it met his. He guided me to the canvas, and together we plunged our fingers into the paint, spreading it across the surface with a sense of urgency and anticipation. Initially, we adorned each other's hands and arms with vibrant colors, laughter echoing in the air, but an undercurrent of something deeper began to stir beneath the surface. Yet, as the night deepened, it transformed into something far more profound. Noah's hands glided over my skin, tracing intricate patterns with a deliberate slowness that sent shivers down my spine. His gaze locked onto mine, and in a hushed tone he breathed, "You're stunning, every part of you." My cheeks burned with heat, yet I surrendered to his touch, allowing the moment to unfold, refusing to retreat. I observed the paint glisten on his skin, my fingers trembling as I traced a golden line along his collarbone, each stroke heavy with unspoken tension. The flicker of candlelight cast shadows that danced ominously, the haunting hum of music wrapped around us like a shroud, and the warmth of our relationship simmered with unspoken tension, filling the room with an electric charge. Each time his fingers brushed against my skin and our eyes locked, the boundaries that separated us began to fade away. We lay side by side on the canvas at the end of the session, our bodies entwined in a chaotic dance of vivid color swirls, each hue a testament to the intensity of our experience. Noah slowly turned his face toward me, a mix of vulnerability and intensity in his gaze. He uttered with a weighty sincerity, "Thank you for being here, for placing your trust in me." With a heart brimming with emotion, I smiled wide. Nowhere else could I possibly imagine myself. I returned to my room and sank into bed that night, haunted by the relentless replay of every moment in my mind. Noah was so much more than just my son. He was a man brimming with intensity, passion, and an undeniable vigor. Despite the unconventional path we had chosen, I found it impossible to deny the profound strength of our bond.